And controlling, meaning we have to make use of some control charts, no, para makita natin if our process is stable or exhibiting ng mga assignable causes or some problems, no, yung mga ongoing processes natin. So discuss natin in later in the succeeding slides. So for control phase, your output or our output deliverables would be control plan and monitoring system to facilitate sustenance ng gains and completed documentation, communication of results. Pag sinabing communication of results, your team, kung nasa isang project team na kayo, later on, if you'll be working in an industry, communication means you have to communicate itong project charter na i-close nyo na formally with your team and with the concerned departments and stakeholders. And then lessons learned, isi-share nyo rin yun para later on, these team members or yung mga kasamahan yung team mates dun sa project team would learn from what you've done and also parang may improvement on the next project. Hindi nyo na yun uulitin kung ano man yung mga mali and ma-execute nyo ng tama. Okay? Question so far? Now, what we will do in control phase, so let's have a hard stop siguro because I'll be giving you some time for you to complete yung ating deliverable sa case study. So let's have siguro hard stop tayo mga around 2:15 or 2:20 para para may sufficient time for you to do and complete your deliverables. Okay? Questions? Now, next. So in control phase, what we need to have is a control plan. So ano pala tong control plan? Ano yung sinasabing control plan? So this control plan shows the detailed measurement instructions and also some of the specifications na gagawin para dun sa ating improved process. It helps to define the process measures target and ensures successful and continuous improving performance. So this is an example of a process control plan. Sige. Let's take it slowly. Familiarize muna anong laman ng table or ng control plan. Okay. On the first or second column, we have what is controlled. So, anong item yung gusto nating i-control? Okay, so lang muna. Then, is it an input or output? Okay. The next is, ano yung specs niya or requirement for that particular item? Okay. The next column is, what control method? Para masabi ko na kontrolado ko itong particular item or factor na to, ano yung gagawin kong method para to control this one. Okay? And how will I execute that method in terms of frequency? So can I do that daily or every start of the shift, every end of the shift, weekly or monthly? So depende yon sa project team or sa inyo as a team. And who will be responsible to do that? Okay? So clear? Now, what's controlled means part dito is your output. Pag sinabing output, let's go back to our fundamental formula, which is Y equals function of x. Now, pag sinabing y equals function of x, where is the output? Ito o ito? Where is the output? Or what is the output? It's y. Y. Yes, y. Y for yes. Okay. So output. So ganun yan. The next column is asking for input or output. No? If your primary metric for this example, no, particular example is attendance rate. So attendance rate is an output. No, it is the result of something that has been done already. No, lead time, yung sa case study, your primary metric is also an output. No. For this example, yung kanyang primary metric is attendance rate, which is output. Yung kanyang requirement, no, is set at equal or greater than 95%. No? So, ibig sabihin yan, pwede siyang magkaroon ng absences na 5%, no, or below. So, 5% yung pinaka-limit niya. If a particular production line has 100 operators na lang, sabihin natin, or production area, 100 operators, 5% of that is ilan? 5, no? So 5 yung pwedeng mag-absent. Okay? Now, the control method means what control chart, no, or what method, ito yung listed below, no, examples ng control methods. These are by audit, no. I-check ko. So parang for your team, you can discuss among yourselves, applicable ba to sa attendance rate? Mag-audit lang ako. Parang hindi, di ba? How about automation? Automation, wala, hindi ko naman makokontrol to automation kasi tao naman to. Visual inspection, hindi rin. By control chart, pwede. By control chart because I'll be monitoring yung attendance rate. No? So, ibig sabihin, control chart using X bar R. No? So, X bar R, dalawang klasing chart. X bar, going back to your, saan ba to diniscuss? Yung central tendency, which is the mean or X bar, no, in analyze phase, right? X bar, and also R for the dispersion or spread, no, range, no. So gusto nating makita, since this is a continuous data, gusto natin makita, okay, in terms of X bar, in terms of range, so in terms of its central tendency or location, no, against the target, and also its spread, no, or yung kanyang variation. So X bar R yung ginamit. Okay? Now, for attendance rate, daily talaga yan. No? Daily. Kahit sa inyo, in your class, no, or classes, no, daily yung attendance rate. Hindi naman kumukuha yung teacher ng attendance rate na monthly. Meron bang ganun sa inyo? Monthly attendance rate. So I remember when I was in college, PE, may ganon yung teacher ko. Monthly. No. And then, para makakuha ka ng grade na 95% to 100%, push-up lang ang katapat. 50 push-up. So, ganun lang ginawa namin for the whole semester. Hindi kami nakita. Diba? Tapos nagpakita lang siguro sa isang buong semester. Parang ilan lang, 5 beses lang. And then sa final namin na exam, if you can do yung push-up, 50 push-ups, you can have yung grade 95 to 100%. No? Ikaw pa yung tatanungin ng teacher. Anong grade ang gusto mo? O, ganun lang yun. You can do yung 50 push-ups. So anyway, kidding aside, so ganun yun. For attendance rate, no, it should be daily. Tama? And then who is responsible to do yung getting yung data and then checking on the control chart. Questions for the first row? Clear? Sige, mag-react lang kayo dyan ha. May reaction naman ata dyan eh. Reaction something. And then, okay, sige. Thanks. Or say, just type yung letter Y, no? Clear. Letter C pala for clear. No? C. Next. So under this control plan, we have attendance checking. No? Sa attendance checking, since chine-check mo pa lang, no? This is not an output yet. So kaya input siya. Okay? This is not also the primary metric. No. Then, anong specification niya? So, doing lang yung attendance checking. So, implementation. No? If it is implemented. So, ganun lang kadali. Yun lang yung requirement natin. You have to do this attendance checking. So, paano nila gagawin? Through random audit. So, nandun yung audit sa control method. And they decided to do this weekly. No, yung attendance check. Ito, bagay ito sa teacher namin dati. No, weekly. And then who is in charge. Okay? And on the last row, leave filing. No? So this is an input. So alam natin for cases of attendance, no, napaka-importante yung leave. No? Sick leave, vacation leave, o ano bang klaseng leave, emergency leave. No? So ang requirement nila, if this would be sa operations, is 2 days before the actual leave, no, kailangan na mag-inform na. So yun yung requirement. So anyway, this is an example for your case study. No, kailangan yung maglagay ng specification. So for example, if one of your factor na gusto nyong i-control is the brewing time, no, for your coffee. No, anong specs? So you can set a dummy number para ma-meet yung 15 minutes, no. So you can come up with some sort of breakdown para sa 15 minutes. So meron akong naka-allot na time for the cashier, meron akong for the customer, yung pag-order niya, time lang, may time limit ako doon for the cashier also, for the barista, up to serving. So ang total noon dapat 15 minutes or less. So ito yung naka-allot ko sa brewing time. No? So it can be one factor. So binigyan ko na kayo ng idea. Ano yung specs ko? So pwedeng in terms of minutes, ano ba? 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Okay? Then what control method? So you can have some control plans for that particular item, no, yung brewing time. For this case, leave filing, records lang. So nasaan yung records? This one. Okay. Under control method examples. And can be done either daily or weekly. And in charge also. Any questions? So ito lang yung gagamitin yung control methods, no. Dito kayo magdi-discuss, can brainstorm among your teammates, no. Ano yung pinaka-fit na control method for this particular factor. But basically, if you're dealing with data, no, data na meron tayong nakukuha na data, so control chart na yan, no. And then that's the next, I think that's the next topic. Questions? None? Okay. Tama nga. Manghuhula nga ako. Control charts nga ang next na topic. Okay. Now, what are control charts? So by the way, yung ano yung i-clarify ko ulit, control plans, yung intent, no, of doing a process control or control plan, no, yung purpose niya is to highlight yung area requiring extra education and also highlighting those areas that requires monitoring, no, para ma-sustain natin yung improvement, no. So kung mapansin nyo, in our example, such as attendance, ito yung gusto natin na magkaroon ng continuous monitoring because we know pag nagwala yung attendance, no, babagsak yung ating productivity. So maaring yung particular example on our control plan kanina is related to productivity or a certain operation sa production. Okay? Now, what is a control chart? So this is a statistical control chart. This is a line graph of measurements. Actually, this is an extension of a run chart. No? Pag sinabing run chart, extension of a run chart, meron siyang dito sa x-axis. Anong ginagamit niya? Ano yung x-axis? Pag extension siya ng run chart. Anong nasa x-axis? It is what we can measure but we cannot see. Ano yan? Trivia, no? We can measure but we cannot see. What is that? Anyone? Starts with letter T. Ano yun? Nandoon sa x-axis. It's time. Yeah, correct. It's time. No, we can measure but we cannot see. No. May mga bugtong-bugtong panghalo. No. Okay, measurements of product or process over time. No, extension siya ng run chart. So history of a control chart. No, this is also called Shewhart charts. No, Shewhart. Kasi siya yung nag-invento nito. Hindi yung Shoemart. Shewhart. Yan. Tama ba? Shewhart. Okay. Yun. It's also called Shewhart. Dr. Walter Shewhart yung nag-develop when he was in the Bell Laboratories in the 1920s. No, imagine, 1920s. Ano na tayo ngayon? 2020s. So, sabihin na natin, 2020s, 1920s. 100 years yung gap, no? So, doon dinevelop ito. So, this is an extension of a run chart. The points that are plotted on a control chart, no? Meron lang tayong ginagamit na control limits. No, meron tayong tinatawag na upper control limit and a lower control limit. No. Yun lang yung kaibahan niya. A control chart also measures yung data, no, within that limit, no, kasi sinasabi natin if our process is behaving, no, with stability or stable yung ating process, ang nandoon lahat na data points, no, on the next, I think it is on the next slide. Yan, lahat ng data natin is within the control limits, no. Pag sinabing within the control limits, ang present lang dyan na variation is what we call common cause for 1 point. Parang naalala ko ito, lalabas ito. Okay, tandaan nyo those process, we can say processes is in control if our data is within the upper control limit and lower control limit, and then the variation present within that control limit is what we call common cause variation. Okay? For another point, if there is a point outside naman doon sa ating upper control limit and lower control limit, Ang tawag natin dyan is special cost variation or what we call assignable cost. Assignable cost. So, ibig sabihin, may nangyari sa iyong process kaya nagwala. No? If this process is, example, a process that is giving measurement data, for example, ang klaseng data, thickness, no? Thickness data. And then may nakita tayo during gathering ng thickness data of a certain part na medyo may nag-out of control, no? Lumabas dun sa ating control limit. So it could be related to the tool itself or the gauge itself, or could be related to the one measuring or the one doing that process, yung mismong operator or yung mismong technician. Okay? So ang tawag is special cost, yung outside, no? Now, itong line na nasa gitna, yung nakikita nyo nasa gitna, this is the average, no? So, yun yung tinatawag nating center line, no? Center line. Okay? And, nasaan yung ating upper and lower control limits? It is situated, no, nasa positive 3 sigma and a negative 3 sigma. Now, with the assumption na yung process natin is normal. Okay? Any questions or clarifications? So, anong kaibahan? Ako magtatanong sa inyo. Anong kaibahan ng specs limit and control limit? Baka lalabas yun sa exam. Pag specification limit, sino nagbibigay? Specs limit. Sino normally nagbibigay niyan? Ay, sa everyone dapat pala. Sorry. Specs limit. Who is giving yung specification limit normally? If not self-imposed, it's our customer. Talagang ready na to si Piolo. Customer, very good. No. Specs limit for control limits, no, these are calculated, no, from our data or yung historical data ng ating process. So the one who calculates is usually yung mismong process owner, no. Yung data na nakukuha natin, and then meron niyang formula, no. If you will pursue yung green belt and then black belt later on, doon natin pag-uusapan kasi medyo masalumot. May mga tables yan, may mga constants yan, no. So madali lang naman yan sa Minitab. Ibibigay lang kaagad. Hindi kayo magka-calculate. No? Mas maganda, parang additional nyo lang yon, learning. But it is calculated from the gathered data, no, itself. So ulit, ang laman ng isang control chart, meron tayong upper control limit, lower control limit, and we can see yung nasa gitna, within the control limits, yun yung mga common variation. Pag meron tayong nakitang outside, we can say na out of control, no? Yung process natin hindi stable. Special cost siya or assignable cost. Clear? Please type letter C kung clear. Uh, 11 pa lang, 12, 13 pa lang ang nag-type, 15, ilan kayo lahat? 25. So I'm expecting 25 Kulang pa. 19, 20. 21. So yung apat, hindi clear. Sino yon? Yung hindi nag-type ng C. Or baka wala sila dito. Baka natutulog ng mahimbing. No. Anyway, I think majority of you got it. No. So, let's proceed. So, ito yung example ng control chart. Now, we have several types of control charts. No. To test yung special causes. Ano nga ibang tawag nun? Assignable causes, right? So, we have several tests. So, ilan lahat yon? Okay. So, kung sa waste, we have 8 types of waste. Ganun din sa control chart for special causes. We have 8 tests, no? Kaya siguro 8, no, para madaling tandaan kasi meron na tayong 8 ways, no? And to check if our process is abnormal or not, kailangan 8 tests, no, yung ano natin. Siguro nagkataon lang to nung inimbento ni Shewhart. Okay. So now, we test for special causes. Yung points, it's either outside or points na may kakaiba sa kanyang trend or sa kanyang clustering or sa kanyang stratification. No? So, different types of test, no, ang pwede nating gawin for special cause to see if there is a special cause variation. Okay. First test, test number 1. This is also called a basic test. No? Kung meron tayong point outside the control limit, itong point na to, lagyan natin ng ano. This one, yan. Basic test, no, caused by a process change. No? So test number 2, there are 9 points in a row on the same side or one side. No, ito yon. Ito yon, 9 points in a row on one side of center line. No. So there is what we call a mean shift. No, nag-shift. No, so ibig sabihin from ito yung mean niya, nagiging ganito na ang kanyang mean or average. So from this one to this one. So merong nangyari sa process. No? There is a assignable or special cause also. Test number 3. So we have 6 points in a row, increasing or decreasing. Pwedeng increasing, pwedeng decreasing. No? So ito yung parang may trend na sinasabi, up or down. No? Trending. Parang ano yun? Familiar yung word na yun, trending. No? May trending up or down. So this could be caused by some mechanical wear and tear. Diba? So alam natin na pag tumatagal yung certain part ng isang machine, nagkakaroon ng deterioration ng machine. No? If it's related to some kind of material or chemical, may nangyayaring depletion, no, ng mismong chemical. Or if this monitoring is related to contamination, halimbawa, merong nangyaring increase ng contamination. No? So merong special cause, merong assignable cause. No? So those are some examples. How about test number 4? Ano ba to? 14 points in a row, alternating up and down. So ito yon. Hindi na natin bibilangin. Basta 14 yan. Alternating up and down. So if this is trending, trending up and down, ito naman, alternating patterns naman, up and down. Okay? Next, test 5. 2 out of 3 points in a row. No? 2 out of 3 in a row in zone A on one side of center line or pwede rin dito. No? So, test 5. Ang tawag naman dito is the second basic test. Kung ito yung basic test, ang test 5 is the second basic test. So mayroong nangyaring process change. No? This one is 4 out of 5 in zone B. No, 4 out of 5, no. In zone B or beyond, no, 4 out of 5 ito. Okay, yan. Kasama na yung point na yan. No, 4 out of 5. So, meron ding nangyaring shifting, no, parang magkamag-anak sila nung test 2 kasi may mean shift. This one is also for test for shifts. Test number 6. For test number 7, 15 points in a row. Ito, huwag natin bilangin. In zone C lang. So, nandoon lang sa above and below 1 sigma. No? Yung zone Z. Yan yung test number 7. Ang tawag nila dyan is white space test. No? So, mayroon ding special assignable cost. And the last one, the test 8 points in a row beyond zone Z. So, walang pumatak sa zone Z. Nasa labas, alternating. No? Alternating means ang tawag dyan. Alternating means. Okay, so we have these different tests. When you be doing this test, then using the Minitab software, so nandoon yon, pwede may options doon, pwede nyo i-select kung anong type of test, pwede nyo nang i-select all types of test, no? Para makita natin if our process is having a special cost variation or an assignable cost of variation. Questions? Okay, wala. Still awake? Tag-ulan, masarap matulog. Okay, for our next topic, selecting a fit, no, or ano yung control chart that is fit for our process. Okay, so let's skip this one. By the way, meron palang ano doon. Meron akong gustong i-review sa inyo. What is a continuous type of data? Parang lalabas din yan sa exam. So ano yung continuous type of data? We can say the data is continuous if it is a cannot be counted as a whole. Yes, correct. So ano siya? Measured or measurable. Papiolo na naman, no? Measurable data. Okay, very good. Measured or measurable data and can be broken down into several decimal places. No. Pag tao, hindi yun continuous, no, because it is an attribute. So yun naman yung kabaliktaran. Correct yung kay Princess, no, can be counted or count data or attribute data, no. Could be also a categorical data. No. So malinaw. Mayroon na kayong 2 points ba to o 1 point lang? Hindi ko alam. Okay. So these are, we can see, there are 2 tables for continuous type and for attribute type. No? Anong klaseng or anong control charts? This is a selection guide, no, for what control charts to be used. If we have a certain process, no, yung process natin, for example, is getting a bonding strength, no, na process, or a process that somehow we need to get yung hourly output, no, or daily output. So ang pwede nating gawin is we can do a sampling lang, no, na isang beses lang nating gagawin, no, yung sample na yon, yung sample size. So we can make use of individual value moving range charts, no, individual value and moving range chart. Okay? For sample sizes na involving 8 or less, no, 8 or less, we can use X bar, ito yung mean and range or R chart. Okay? But if our sample size is greater than 8, no? So R chart, hindi na applicable. S na yan na chart or the standard deviation chart. So yun lang yung main difference. No? Pansinin nyo to, pag continuous type of data, we are using two charts. Pansin nyo, two charts yan. Individual or X bar and also moving range or R chart or S chart. So ganun lang for continuous type. So later on, if you will be working on an industry, and then yung gusto nyong i-control na parameter is a continuous type of data. So kailangan dalawang chart yung kailangan kong gamitin. For attribute type of data, okay. For attribute type, if you are counting defective or defect, these types of chart can be used. So before we discuss this one, anong kaibahan ng defective and defect? Okay? Anyone? Excuse me. What is the difference between defective or a defect? Excuse me. Nandyan pa kayo? Wala na kayo ha? What is a defective? Pag sinabing, okay, defect po, may sira lang pero nagagamit pa po. Okay, defective, sira po talaga to the point hindi na po nagagamit. So, very clear, no? Tagalog na Tagalog. Actually, hindi naman ako Tagalog. Tagalog na Tagalog, defective. If a certain item, is having some problems to the point na hindi na siya magamit for its purpose. Okay? Cellphone. Pag sinabing defective ang cellphone, hindi na pwedeng pantawag, hindi na pwedeng pang-text as a unit, whole unit cellphone. Defective siya. Defect, mayroon lang flaws or certain flaw or NG na part for example a mug mug para sa coffee merong kaunting chipping. Ano ba siya, defective na siya or meron lang siyang defect? Yung mug pwede pa, di ba? Pwede pang magamit, hindi siya defective, it has a defect, tama? So kahit nga wala nang hawakan, pwede pang magamit yun yung mug Okay? So clear. Now, if our sample size is fixed or variable, pag sinabing fixed number, every time you get from a certain production line, let's say, for example, our sampling size is 5. So every start of the shift, you are getting 5 samples ng item, particular item or product. If this is for the defective na minomonitor nyo, NP chart ang gagamitin. Tandaan nyo to kasi tandaan nyo to. Kasi these also can be also part of your exam. Itong table na to, maraming lalabas dito, saka dito. Okay. So if the sample size is fixed for defectives, NP chart. So ang ano nga ni Sir Felix nito, yung joke niya is para madaling tandaan, defective NP, hindi pa bago-bago. No, yun yung ibig sabihin ng NP, hindi pa bago-bago. Fix yung sample size. For defect, C. So isang ano naman yan ito is constant, no, para madaling tandaan. Pag defect, constant na C chart kasi hindi pa bago-bago ang sample size. Constant sample size. Dito naman sa kabila, for defectives, variable, no? So every time you get, iba-iba yung sample. So daily, ngayon 3 samples, bukas 4, sunod 8, sunod 5, yon. P chart, pabago-bago. Okay, so madaling tandaan. Pag sa defects naman, U U chart. Anong ibig sabihin ng U para madaling tandaan? Unconstant. No, di ba? Meron bang ganun? Unconstant. No? Constant pag fix, unconstant pag ano. NP pag hindi pa bago-bago, P pag pabago-bago ang sample size. Clear? Tandaan nyo to. Mayroon na akong ano sa inyo ha. Meron na akong contribution ha. So tandaan nyo to. Continuous attribute, di ba? For continuous, we have IMR, we have X bar R, X bar S. For attribute, we have NP, NP for defectives, C and U for defects. Questions or clarifications? So okay, bibigyan ko yan ng tip. So later on, if you will be working, no, or meron dito, some of you are working already. Lalo na pag nag-handle kayo, nandun kayo sa manufacturing site or assigned sa isang particular na operation, at lalo na i-assign kayo as QC or i-assign kayo as process, no. Doing this control chart for continuous improvement, no. Malaki ang tulong nito, no. So parang at first you will determine muna kung anong sample size nyo, sample plan. So you'll be taught siguro pag nagpursue kayo ng green belt or black belt, no, anong tamang sample size, yun yung unang gawin nyo. Determine the sample size and then implement what type of control chart, no, na pwede nating ilagay sa particular process. So after implementing yung type of control chart, you need to identify kung meron bang special or assignable cost present, no. Then pag nakita nyo merong nag-out of control yung process, merong special assignable cost, it's the time to investigate and make some action plan. So ganun lang ang gamit ng control chart. Ganun lang pero malaki, no, kasi this is part of the 7 QC tools na sinasabi natin. No, this is one of the 7 QC tools. No, ibig sabihin yung method na to, okay, or yung technique na to is really very vital, no, para doon sa determining if our process is stable or not, and also can also make use of this as a prediction, no, na to predict if what will be the performance of our process, no. And also for any ongoing process, no, aside from predicting, identifying if there is really a problem or there is a special or assignable cost. So yun yung pinakagamit nito. Questions or clarifications? Okay, if there is none, so based on the case study, which is ano ba yan? Fever beverages, lead time improvement, the following should be provided. You must, from the list of the implemented solutions in the improve phase, prepare a complete process control plan with all column details. No, so I'll show you yung ating, yan. Ito ba yun? Ayan. I think this is in your example. Yan, sa control phase, no? As an example, no, control plan, what's controlled? No. If this is related to some visual management doon sa restaurant or doon sa coffee shop, no, para ma-improve. So this is an input, no. Hindi naman to yung metric nyo. And also yung brewing time, no. So ano yung specs, no? Depende sa inyo. For brewing time, 10 minutes. And control method, anong pwede nyo gawin? What type of control chart, no, you should use for brewing time? And also frequency, daily ba? Twice per day, no? Parang day shift, night shift, and who will be the in charge person. Any questions or clarifications? Okay, so I'll be finalizing the breakout room. Sino pa yung ano? Have you edited your names? No.